Well, according to this, the study today is going to be called Bag a Buck, which I think if you live with a deer hunter means something completely different than what they mean. But it's about saving money, and who doesn't want to do that? It's pretty popular these days, because used to, if you tried to save money and pinch a penny, you were cheap. But now if you do it, you're thrifty and smart. So it's really popular to save money. I think some people kind of take it to extremes. I was sitting in a coffee shop the other day, and there was a group of ladies, apparently the local couponers group, and they were over there with the big old binders. You know, they had to turn the pages like this because they had them loaded with coupons, and they were talking about going on Tuesday and using the manufacturer rebate and make sure you double this and triple that. And I thought, man, the invasion of Normandy took a less strategy than these ladies are putting into practice over there. I can't do it. It requires too much work, too much effort. I mean, I saw on the, Extreme Couponing Show, where one lady walked out of a store with like 1,000 packets of the same mix. It's like, oh, I got $656 worth of dry Dijon tapioca mix for $9. Congratulations. Can't wait to see what dish you cook up with that. I mean, even the food pantries, if you tried to give that away, they'd be like, whoa, we don't even know what to do with that. You gotta have some sense about it. I mean, it's hard to throw away a good coupon when you get one. I mean, I've had one in my purse for a while for diapers, and I haven't had a child that wasn't potty trained for 18 years. It's hard to throw away a good coupon, but it's even harder to get a 20-year-old to wear a pamper.
Over the years, I have helped thousands of women save money. And it's just an area that we can all relate to, because it really doesn't matter what stage of life you're in. Whether you're a single mom, a single lady, an empty nester, maybe you have a bunch of kids like I do, maybe you're a college student. Everybody can save money somewhere. Everybody wants to save money somewhere, and we're all still responsible for our money. Before the Lord we are. So we all have that in common. And it doesn't really matter if we have great wealth or little wealth. We all know of things that we could do with the money that we save. We might pay off debt somewhere. We might save to go on a vacation. We might help our children with the college fund. We might do like Dave Ramsey says, and we might live like no one else now so that we can live and give like no one else later. There are so many things. Maybe we just want to buy a new pair of shoes. And so we can save money somewhere so that we can do that. So I want to talk to you today about just some things I've learned over the years, practical ways that we've saved money with our children and our family to make things work. But before we can really talk about saving money, we have to talk about need versus want. We live in a really wild, crazy society right now where we don't seem to understand the difference between need and want. We've raised a lot of kids who've been given everything they wanted. And they come out of college with this expectation that they're going to live in the same standard of living that their parents took 25 years to build. We don't see kind of the barely making it by newlyweds anymore. They have an expectation, and so oftentimes they have great debt to go along with that. And I'd like to kind of see some of that shifted. So what is the difference between a need and a want? Well, we should know that. What do we need to survive, and what do we just want? Is it wrong to have wants? No way. To enjoy the blessings the Lord's given us? Absolutely. We just need to recognize them as such. We need to understand to recognize the difference between a want and a need. Sometimes we think that God would never allow us to kind of lose everything. So like if we lose a job or things go wrong, surely that can't be of the Lord. And I'm just going to tell you, if we believe as Christian women that everything is sifted through God's hand, He does sometimes allow that. We look at the life of Job and we see that. God allowed him to lose everything, and he was still right in the middle of God's will. I had a young mom contact me not too long ago. She came to me. She was pregnant with her third child, and she said, I desperately want to either be home or be home part-time. And so I said, okay, well, I'd like for you to go back, look over your last 3 months' bills, and make a list for me. Needs and wants. That's your only two categories, and we'll meet next week and talk. So she came with her little budget that she had done, and I was so surprised when I got it. Now, she put these things in those categories. In her need list were some very expensive things like dog grooming, like a very expensive landscaping budget, a very expensive clothes and eating out budget. She spent a lot of money on haircuts and colors, cable television. She had a huge phone bill. All of these were in needs. So I really challenged her and I said, some of these need to be moved to wants and some of these could be greatly scaled down. Like your gym membership, you could just walk with your children, play with your children, throw them in the air, that'll give you some good arm workout. And she wouldn't budge on any of it. And she was even teary about the whole thing. And she left that day, and I thought to myself, now, she came to me. This is what she wanted, was time with her children. And she's trading stuff that eventually, eternally, just won't matter over her own desire. I didn't push that on her, but we kind of live there right now. And that's sad. And if we can help our children see the difference between a want and a need, we have really helped them with contentment as they move on. So let's talk about some ways that we could save money. One of the biggest ways that I save money is with coupons. If you had ever told me that I would be a couponing mom or woman, I would have called you a liar. Because I thought that coupons were basically for, just like prepackaged junk that I didn't need, or that coupons were just so difficult because I was going to have to match everything up, and I could buy the store brand cheaper anyway. So that's really the way I felt about it. And I had a friend, a great friend, that really challenged me and taught me how to do it. And I was just so surprised at how much money we saved doing that. Now, I don't have time to tell you all of it today, but I'm going to kind of just give you hopefully a taste for it so that maybe you'll be encouraged to look at it. Basically, what couponing is gathering your coupons. I mainly get mine from the paper. Gathering your coupons and waiting until the very, very lowest sale price comes and then matching the coupon with the sale item. Now, the great thing is today there are great free websites that you can go to that do all the work for you. You don't have to scour through the internet and scour through different sale ads. You can just go to one place, find it all, and you're done. Everything's kind of cyclical, so items go on sale every about 6 weeks, and coupons come out to match them about every 6 weeks. I may cut coupons this week that I don't use for 3 weeks or 4 weeks or 5 weeks, just before they go out of date, maybe. And I buy all kinds of things with coupons. Our hair products, all of our toiletries, our paper products, any kind of canned beans or fruit or anything that my family loves to eat, I buy. I try to stay away from the things that we don't. I don't buy the prepackaged stuff because we don't eat that. So I stay away from that. But I save so much money just by having the things we use all the time, the pastas, on hand. I can just grab it, and I paid so little for it. If you never want a coupon, you can still save a whole lot of money just by waiting till things hit their rock bottom price and buying 2 or 3 of them. Because if you can get something, buy one, get one, and so you get 2 for the price you'd normally pay for one, and you just put them on your shelf and you're ready to grab them and you can plan for that, then you've saved yourself a lot of money. Some other ways that I save money, I wait till meats go on sale. I know what they are typically, and I wait till they hit a really good sale, and I'll buy more than I need. I'll bring them home. Sometimes I just divide them up and put them in a freezer baggie and put them in the freezer and just wait. I'll pour a little bit of Italian dressing and maybe some teriyaki just right in with the raw chicken breast, push all the air out and freeze it, and then when it thaws on the counter, it's already marinated. It's wonderful, and it's ready to go. And so if I get a big pack of that and bring it home, I can divide up into several meals at once, and it's just not that big a deal. Or maybe I bring it home and I boil all the chicken, because it's not that much of a difference to boil 8 as it is to boil 2. I mean, it's just not. And then I pull it all off, put it back into a freezer baggie, put some of the chicken broth with it, push the air out, freeze it, and then it's ready. And it really didn't take me a lot of time. It's not like major cooking on the front end, but it saves me money because I bought it on sale. It saves me time because then when I'm thinking through my menu planning next week, I just pull out the chicken that's already cooked. I don't even have to do that step. It's already done. Anytime I can combine steps like that, I look for that. I do it with hamburger meat too. Again, not a lot of difference in browning 8 pounds of it than 2 pounds. Rinse it all off to get all that fat off, and then I just scoop it right in. You don't need any fluids with that. And I'll freeze it, and then I have it for anything that I need, my soups or my tacos, and it's done. That step is finished. So just kind of always, as things are on sale, meats are on sale, I'll bring them home and make more or put more away, and that's a big money and time-saving thing that I do. Fruits and vegetables. Buying them in season is a big money saver. Right now, we're getting into some great things that we can buy, but you wouldn't want to buy blueberries in the dead of winter in this area when they're going to cost you 3 times as much. Maybe you even buy more and put them away like Robin told us, so we have them. Buy them when they're cheaper and put them away is a great way. If you have fruits that are just looking like they're going to go bad, they're not bad, you're thinking, we're never going to eat this. Freeze them and put them in smoothies. They're great for that. My kids are always grabbing out stuff out of the freezer to throw right into a smoothie, and then we're still using that stuff and we're not wasting. We waste a lot of food. We throw a lot of food away. It's really sad. The Lord really convicted me of that several years ago, just how much waste. It's a waste on my budget, and it's a waste compared to what the rest of the world's going through. Another thing that we spend a lot of money on is drinks. Again, I really just kind of look at my whole budget and I say, where could I trim back? What do we like? What do we spend our money on, and how can I change that? And I know this is not a popular subject, but you need to be aware, like Cokes and even fruit juices, how much sugar you're giving your kids out of those. Even fruit juices that don't have added sugar, we're taking that great apple and we're pulling just the sweet, the goodie out of it. And so in a cup of apple juice, we may be getting the equivalent of 5 apples, just the sugary part. So they're not always it's not that they're bad. I'm not saying don't ever give your kids fruit juice. But sometimes that's a real budget buster. We buy so much of that kind of stuff. And so if we could get back to drinking water, just having a filtered pitcher sitting there so we can constantly have water, stay away from water bottles. I have a friend that did water bottles constantly. Again, I'm not anti-water bottle, but she did them so much, they drank them constantly. And so she was challenged after I talked one time, and her family decided to go to just a pitcher, a filtered pitcher, and all the money that they normally spend on water bottles, they put into a jar, and when the jar filled up, they donated a water filtration system to another country. Amazing. Her kids were so excited, they couldn't wait to put the money in. And you know what that did, though? They didn't go back to the water bottles, not because they were anti-water bottle, but they saw the difference they could make in just what seemed like not a lot of money for that one little thing, but it adds up so quickly. And so they did it again. It was awesome. In our house, the way I get my kids to drink water is we go somewhere and we buy these great little, they get to pick out their own cup, and I tell them that they can't put anything in it but water. So they have to drink water out of it. Well, I don't know why children, they just love to drink out of these, something different than just a glass. So it's a good way to get them to drink something. They chose the fun little, water cup or water bottle, and then they get to do that. So look for ways that you can make your own tea, make your own coffee drinks. At the end of the day or the end of the morning when we're finished with our coffee, I take that leftover little bit and I pour it into ice cube trays and put it right into the freezer and then pop them out and throw them in the blender, and we make great coffee smoothies. All my family loves them. And then they're $5 a pop for one of those, and we make them for pennies, and they're great, they're good. Another great thing that I save money on are gifts. These are $1 a piece. Okay, not a big deal. You go grab one for one of your friends, not a big deal to go in a thing. I was at a store and there was a clearance rack of these and they were 10 cents each. I have no idea why. They're in perfect shape. Maybe they changed the packaging. Maybe they had too many for the shelf. I don't know, but they were 10 cents each. I bought all that they had. There were 40 of them. So I bought all. So for $4, I got what would have cost me for tea dollars, and I have a big bucket under my bed, and I put them in it. And I have used these for all kinds of things because I love to give little gifts. Sometimes I've taken these and just put a sticky note on a friend because they're called like stress relief or relaxation or whatever. Maybe a friend that's just had a really tough, hard day, and I just put a sticky note on it saying, I'm praying for you, take some time for yourself, and put it in their mailbox. It cost me 10 cents. Just not a big deal, and I can do that a lot. Or I can make gift baskets for lots of people and put a little something in all of them that all came out of my bucket. Where if I just said, I want to make 20 gift bags and went and bought all that stuff, that may be way too much for my budget. But because I've saved and looked for little things that I could use, then I do that. So I have a bucket full of stuff that I use for little fun gifts. I look for baby shower gifts. I look for hostess gifts. I definitely look for I love you gifts. Remember when we were talking about parenting, we talked about it's really important to do that with your children. It's important to say I love you the way they like to hear I love you. And everybody likes for me to know that you like orange Tic Tacs. And I know that. I heard her say it. Well, I didn't really, but we'll pretend I did. I heard you say it. And then the next time I see you, I say, oh, I was thinking about you. And you're like, oh, she was listening. Our kids love that. Our husbands love that. And so when we see those things on sale or we have a coupon for them and we can just have them just for an I love you gift, it means a lot. And then it won't break your budget and you'll be able to be generous and enjoy getting to do that. And I buy my clothes right now. So for instance, the season we're in right now, the season we just passed, all of those clothes are like 80% off right now. It's a great time to go just scour through and see what you can find and buy things that they're less than what you could get at the thrift store. And you get brand new, beautiful things that you can just put away for the next season. And so it's sort of like if you go today and buy a whole meal for tonight, you're going to spend a whole lot more money than if you planned and bought everything for the week. Don't ask me why that is, but it's true, it is. Well, it's the same thing with clothes or anything we're looking for. If we're just kind of always thinking ahead, you'll save more money than if you have to go get it right now, right? Okay, so let's talk about cleaning products. You can buy lots and lots and lots of cleaning products with coupons, and you'll see that. But several years ago, I decided that I really wanted to get away from chemicals. I told you guys that my kids do chores in our house, so I have lots of kids handling lots of cleaning products. And I didn't want to breathe them in, but I really didn't want them handling them. So I switched over to all, even before green was the word, to all natural cleaning products. Okay, what I didn't anticipate was how much it was going to help my budget because it's pennies. When you clean all your mirrors and windows with vinegar and water, you can spray the stuff in your mouth and you're not going to die. It's great. Don't do that, but you could do that. Anyway, so when we do that, my kids can handle that without me having any fears of anything. So I've cut out the chemicals, and then I've also cut my budget way back. I just buy some plastic bottles. And in your workbook, you'll see that I filled it with lots and lots of ideas for that, for you to do on that. I want to show you one of the things. I love Pinterest. Do you guys use Pinterest? And you do have to be careful that you don't get sucked into, because I told my husband, someday I really want my day off to be, I just want to look through Pinterest and find all the things I want to cook, and then I want to cook them. And I don't want to have to do anything else in the house all day long. That'd be a day off for me. Anyway, one of the great tricks that I learned from Pinterest is this little thing. Have you guys seen this? Oh my goodness. It's like, the kitchen scrubber. Well, I have filled it with some dish detergent and vinegar. And it's in every one of my bathrooms in the bathtub. And so while you're in there, you just scrub the sides of the wall and the tub, scrubs everything off. My kids can use them. They think it's great. It's awesome. I love this little trick. And then another thing, we live in a very small house for 7 of us. We live really in a starter house, 3 bedrooms, 2 bath, which I understand is huge. I really do. When you look at the whole rest of the world, we have a mansion, so I don't want to complain about that at all. But it is a very tight house for us. And so every bit of space matters. So I'm always looking for ways that I can be more organized, because the more organized you are, the more time you're going to save. Because if I don't have to spend time looking for things, that's a great thing. So I hang on the back of all my closet doors, the great little shoe things that go floor to ceiling. Some of them are see-through, some of them are not. And I use them for all kinds of organizational things. So Band-Aids and ointments and scarves and gloves, whatever. They're just right there, and it just gives me more space. It's awesome. Pick that up from Pinterest. I just love Pinterest. Gives you so many ideas. Another thing that I love that saves us money in our house is spray paint. Spray paint is your friend. You need to get used to spray paint. People look at things that I've done, they're like, I couldn't do that. I'm like, it's a bottle of spray paint, for goodness sakes. So I will look for things at a yard sale or at the local thrift store, and I try to look at, is it sturdy? Do I like the way it looks? It just needs some help. And so we'll spray paint it. And it's great. It's awesome. It gives me the opportunity to have some nice things that maybe I couldn't afford to go get, or to save for something that I can't pick up at the thrift store. Recently, my daughter helped me. In my house, we have 5 really great ceiling fans. They work great. They were expensive when we bought them, but they were very outdated. The color was very outdated. And we took all of them down, spray painted, cleaned them real good, spray painted all of them black, and put them back up. And they're gorgeous. They give a whole new look. And it just cost me, I got the cheap stuff too. It didn't take much to make a great new look. We can always look for things and say, how could I make this work? We are creative. We are. I don't know what has happened that we've kind of lost that. We have. We need to get that back. We are smart, creative women. And then when I think about another real budget buster is entertainment. I think, again, because we've gotten away from the creative side, because it's easier to just whip out a 20 or a 50 or 100, however big your family is, to pay for whatever it is. And we don't have to do a lot of the work at home, maybe, to do that it's just become easier. We've just become so busy that it's easier to just pay for things. But we need to look at that. How much money am I spending on entertainment? Or maybe I'm not spending any and everybody's kind of bored at home. What can I do? Build a fort and read books in it. Get a little basket and put all kinds of nail things in it and have spa night with your daughters. Make a mud mask. They love that. Let them do your fingernails and toenails. You may need to redo them later, but Do those kind of things instead of paying for those or feeling like we always have to pay for those. Let that be a special treat sometimes if you want to, but don't feel like we have to do that. We've raised these young girls and boys to believe that certain things are needs in their life, instead of just a really great want or blessing. And listen, there's nothing wrong with going to enjoy those services. There's not. But help them embrace that it's really fun to do some things at home. You can have a water balloon fight in the backyard that I'm telling you, your kids will remember forever, maybe more than if you dropped $100 somewhere. They want to spend time with you. And do you know why I know this? Well, I know it from my own children who say that. I live in a little house with a really little budget, and my house is overflowing all the time with children. Do you know why? They love to be there. Because we're always doing something goofy. We're always out by the fire pit. We're always playing in the backyard. We're always making up silly games to do. And they love that. They want that. They desire that. Don't underestimate how much your family wants to spend time with you. So take a little time. You can do little things. On your way home tonight, stop by a local store and get some chopsticks. And everybody try to eat their meal with chopsticks tonight, just for the fun of it, just to laugh. Those are fun things to do that are inexpensive, that oftentimes are just real budget busters for us on lots of things, aren't they? Amazing women really and truly are creative. Amazing women know how to take what they've been given, the resources they've been given, and to be wise with those. So go be amazing, creative women.
I was in high school when the housing market crashed, and my parents, who were in real estate at the time, they lost everything. During that difficult season of financial hardship for my family, an older woman asked me if I would like to learn how to save money on everyday items. I was thrilled when she welcomed me into her home and sat down with me and taught me how to coupon. She took the time to introduce me to many helpful money-saving websites, and she showed me how to make grocery lists based off the coupons I found on those sites. She taught me how to stay organized so I get the most of my money and I never miss a deal. All the information I received was a huge blessing, and when implemented, it became a great asset to my struggling family. Through the mentorship of this woman and several other ladies ahead of me on the road of life, the Lord showed me His great provision and encouraged my heart during that very difficult trial. My parents have always been very generous people, and one of the hardest realities of our financial struggle was the fact that we couldn't give like we used to. We knew a young married couple at the time who were also struggling to make ends meet, and because of the skills that I had learned, we were able to bless them several times with the abundance of our groceries. I was so grateful to have an opportunity to help bless someone who is hurting also, even though we were tight ourselves. Now, many years later, as a wife and a mother, I'm still using those practical money-saving habits. As my husband and I, we step out in faith on one income so I can stay home with our first little baby as God has called me to do. Saving money and being cognizant of every penny our family has been entrusted with is a means of financial stewardship and allows us to make budget and live comfortably. It's also a way for me to show honor to my husband by being a diligent steward of the money that he works so hard to provide for our family with. Stretching every dollar that I can when purchasing the necessities allows me to save and put away money for things we might not otherwise be able to afford, like a weekend getaway or a date night to invest in our marriage. Learning these skills has been invaluable to our family as we strive to do everything to the glory of the Lord and to honor Him with the time and the resources we have been given to further His name and His kingdom.